Well, hello, my YouTube family. I hope that you guys are doing fine. In this video, I'm going to show you how to upgrade SCCM to upgrade 1906. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'll just go and verify what is a current version of SCCM that is installed in my lab. Then I'm going to also go and check and verify that if it is one of at least one of these versions, which is 1802, 1806, 1810, or 1902. Because if you are not on any of these versions, you would not be able to upgrade to 1906. So I know what my version is, but I will just show you in my console once I'm going to get onto my SCCM machine. This way we can I can walk you through it. And then I would show you the new features that are available in 1906, and you could actually now see them within the SCCM console. You don't have to go and visit another separate website. They are inside inside the SCCM console. And then if some of you might be on a what is called a slow ring, you might not see upgrade 1906 in your SCCM console. So I'll show you how to basically it's a script that I'm gonna show you to download from Microsoft site. Download it, run it, and then it will make that upgrade 1906 available to your SCCM so that you could upgrade it from within the console. Next, I'm going to run the prerequisite for 1906. That's going to happen within the console too. Basically, everything that is included in this video is going to run within the SCCM console. And then I will go and check the log for the prerequisite. Hopefully, it doesn't need anything extra. But if there is, obviously, that would be found in config manager prerequisite.log. And that log lives in C drive of the machine where SCCM is installed. Then I'm going to do actual upgrade, which is upgrade in 1906. And then verify that upgrade with the log, make sure it is successful. Once that done, then obviously I would need to update the SCCM console, because now the version would that for the SCCM console has changed. So once that's done, and obviously I'll check that one log for the SCCM console update on config manager admin UI setup.log. Once it's done, the next I'm going to verify if the upgrade was successful. So I will verify it basically SCCM console version, SCCM server DMP. Basically, it needs to be on. It needs to get upgraded to version 5.00.8853, 1000 build 8853. I'm also going to verify the SCCM client. The new version would be 5.00.8853.1006. And then after verification, I will distribute this SCCM client package to the distribution points so that it is available for all of the clients that I have out there in my lab. Then I would also verify boot images because once you upgrade to 1906, it does update the boot vim too. For those who have any kind of drivers, especially the network drivers, you need to make sure to verify your boot images in your production environment before you do the upgrade. Or if you have any kind of, let's say, different third-party caching tool like a Nomad Master or something that is installed, you want to make sure that tool is also compatible with 1906, because you would break the whole environment if you wind up upgrading the SCCM infrastructure and your Nomad Master is not upgraded or is not compatible with this version. You're gonna have a big problem. This is I'm sharing this with you based on my own personal experience. It was a nightmare. We broke it, and yeah, it was not a good experience. Finally, And by the way, all the stuff that I'm sharing here is just for the lab purpose. If you are using it in your production environment, it is your responsibility to make sure, test, and then deploy. I would not be responsible for anything. This is just for the education purpose in your lab. You could ask me questions. I'll be more than happy to answer you if you need any kind of help. Um, and towards the end of this video, I will create a quick query that would basically go and look for the devices. It's going to be a dynamic, it's a query base, so it's going to be a dynamic collection that would go and query for all of the machines that has a client version 5.008853.1006 installed. I have already written that query. I'll just basically copy and paste it, and I'll show you, and I will also paste this query in the description of this video too. So let's move to the computer, my SCCM machine, and get SCCM Upgrade 1906 process started. Thank you for watching our videos. I'm Bibi, and with me in picture is my wife Mishi. We are husband and wife team who works together to bring you all these videos. We love to drink hot tea. Please support our channel by subscribing, sharing on social media, and commenting in the comment section. If you would like to buy a cup of tea for us, now you could do so via PayPal. You could see the link on this screen and also in the description of this video. Thank you again, and we love you. Peace. All right, I'm just going to quickly log in to my SCCM server, which is SCCM01. It's right here. I'm going to launch SCCM console. And first thing I'm going to verify is the current version of SCCM that is installed on the server. To do that, just simply click right this drop down arrow and go to About Configuration Manager, and as you can see, the version is 1806. So as I mentioned earlier in this video, when you are trying to do the upgrade to 1906, you need to be either on 1802 or higher. So in this case, I'm on 1806, so I am good to go on the upgrade for this. So next thing, I mentioned that you could actually check the features that are into the feature updates. So to do that, you could just simply click on admin, updates and services. You just click on it, and here you will see all of these feature updates that are available to you. So for me, if you just look at it, I have 1906 available. So if once I click on it and then just go down, not the feature upgrade, I'm sorry, I have a upgrade 1906 available to me. So once you click it, and then on the bottom, if you click on the features tab, you are going to see all of the features that are available in this 1906 upgrade. So if you wanted to more reading about each feature, what this one is doing, you could actually just go to this link. It's a Microsoft link. Just simply go and use that link and do some more reading. I cannot, and I'm not going to go into each feature because this video will become way too long if I start going in. You could just do some reading on that yourself. So let's say that if you are on a slowing of the SCCM upgrade, you might not see this update into your SCCM console. So in order for you, there is a way though, you could force it. So to do that, just simply, I actually have something that I just created this. Oh, I guess I did not save it. So I have a few instructions here. I'm just gonna paste it for you guys real quick. Wrap it. So basically go to this link right here all the way to executable. I'm gonna leave this one in the description, and just download it. It's an executable that is going and it's safe. As you could see, the URL is from Microsoft.com, so don't need to worry about any kind of virus. It's just save it, save as. You could just do it in downloads, so that's my default folder, or you could save it whichever folder that you decide to do. You could put it on desktop if you want to. So you put it there, then open the folder, right click and run as admin. Yes. And it's going to ask you where do you want to extract this. I'm just going to leave this default as the downloads so that it would extract it right here. Click OK. And once it's extracted, you are going to see a PowerShell script. Enable early updating 1906.ps1 is a PowerShell script. And in order for you to make it work, just open a PowerShell command with the admin rights. Just click on the search box and then do PowerShell. And once you see the PowerShell, you could run even 32-bit or 64-bit, whichever one, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to run this 64-bit. Right click, run as an admin. Yes. And now, as you could see, you could run this PowerShell. Just kind of browse to that directory first, whichever directory that the PowerShell script is in. I have it in the C user download, I believe. C user, and this user is SC admin downloads. Yeah, so just copy and paste this one, and then do CD to path to that. So now I have this enable. That's the one. Enable early update ring. Updater ring 1906. I'm sorry, it's 11 p.m. and I had a very long day. Once you have that, just put space and then your server, which would be whatever the SCCM server that you are trying to get the update for. So in this case, I would do SCCM 01 and then press enter. And it should then automatically go and check into the backend of Microsoft, and you would start seeing, and then after just a little bit, you should start seeing the update just like here. It would actually, originally is going to show like this, where the state is available to download, and prerequisite only is going to be no, ignore prerequisite warning, and all of the status is going to be exactly like 1902, the way I have it on the screen. But since I have ran the prerequisite check for 1906, that's why you are seeing that it has passed. But just to give you an idea, just right click on it and run prerequisite check. It's going to start running, and if you go to C and the log is right here. Config manager prerequisite .log, and that's, if you open it, you would see that the prerequisite, whatever the status of the prerequisite is. For me, it ran successfully, which you could just see right here. It was passed, no issues. So this is looking good. Once the prerequisite is successful, right click it and select install update pack. Leave everything as a default. You could kind of ignore any prerequisite check warnings if there were any, but I strongly recommend not to do that. Just simply click next. Here, for this lab purpose, I'm going to leave everything unchecked and leave it as a default. But you could also enable any of the features that you want here. But ideally, the way I like to do it, I like to enable them after. You have the kind of a choice to enable or disable the features later on too. So I'll just simply leave it as is and click next. And this is where, like, let's say that you have 30,000 machines in the environment, and obviously you don't want all of them to get the latest SCCM client. Let's say you have maybe a pilot group of 500. That's where you could kind of check here and then target whichever collection that you want to target. But for this lab purpose, I'm just going to leave the top one so that it can upgrade all of the machines that I have in the lab. Click next. Check I accept all these license terms. You have to. I mean, if you want to read, that's good. If you don't, that's fine. I'm going to click next. That's the summary of the selections that you did above. Click next. And this should start upgrading to SCCM 1906. So is check in the prerequisites again. Yeah, it can take between 45 minutes to 50 minutes. So I will pause this video until this process is completed, and then I'll come back. So while it's installing, as you could just see right now, you could also monitor the log for this to see what exactly is going on. And the location for that log is wherever your SCCM is installed. Just go there. In my case, it's C program files, Microsoft Configuration Manager, and then go to logs, and the log name that you're looking for is cm update.log, which is this one right here. It's a pretty decent sized log, so sometimes it can just take just a little bit of time for it to open. And this is where you could kind of see what's happening, and it will start updating as installation continues. And once it's done, obviously it's going to show at the end that this was successful. So I'm going to pause it and just come back once this has completed. All right, so as you could see, the installation is completed. And I also see, if you refresh it, there is another hotfix. Is a hotfix rollup that is also available. I could potentially install this one too, but for now, for this video purpose, I'm not going to install it. I'm just going to leave it as is. And next, I'm going to move to the validation of the update. I'm going to check boot VMs. So to check that, click on the software library, operating systems, boot images, and as you could see, it has 2 errors. So I would need to go and look at it and see what is going on this one. And same goes for 64 and 32-bit. So I'm gonna, the date and time is correct. So it was changed or upgraded today. So I'm just gonna try to redistribute it and see what happens. close it and try to relaunch it. That should prompt me that there is a newer version available. So I'm going to click OK and click yes, that's a USE. This would start to download the files for the latest one. One or more error occurs while installing new console. Click report button, report. So what is going on with this? Close it. I'm going to close this log. Failed to open registry key, software, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And if I go back and try to relaunch it, yeah, I think it just somehow maybe there was some network glitch and it was not able to download the source file for the latest version of SCCM console. But as you could see, it is starting to, it downloaded it and then it started to install it now. To verify the console, it would create installation of the updated console. It will dump the log file in config in drive letter C config manager admin UI setup, which would be this log right here. I'm going to open this. And I'll wait for it to finish. All right, as you could see, the installation completed successfully. So the latest version is 5.0.8853.1006, and SCCM itself actually launched the console itself too. I'm just gonna go quickly verify the version of the SCCM help about configuration manager. It's 1906, and the console version is this, site version is that. And we could actually also look at the site version directly if we need to, just by going on the admin site configuration sites and whichever site that you want to look. In this case, I have only one site, so I'm just going to look at that. Right click, go to properties, and that's the version right there for you. Now I'm going to go back and make sure that the updated boot VIMs are distributed and there are no errors. So in order for to get to the boot VIMs, click on the software library, operating systems, boot images, and as you could see, it's still showing the error. So I'm just going to try to redistribute it. Do is right click and do update distribution point, because this was already actually once it was there. Next, Let's see if this fixes it. To save some time, I'm just going to pause it and I'll be back once the processing completed 100%. So the update was completed. Basically, I re-uploaded, updated the distribution point so that the boot frame could be redistributed. And if you just take a look at it, which I had mentioned kind of earlier on at the beginning of this video, that make sure that you need to look at the drivers. If you have any drivers that are included into your boot image, they would not be automatically updated. So make sure that you make those changes and validate that your drivers are still good. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this and try to refresh it. And as you could see, the content is started to distribute. It was successfully distributed to, or redistributed, I should say, to one of the distribution point. I have two distribution points, so currently it's copied to the other one. So and that was for 64-bit. I'm gonna do the same thing on the 32-bit. As you could see, it was failed. So right click and update distribution point. Next, and this should, this is going pretty fast. So while this one is doing, I'll come back to it and then show you once it's successful. The next thing I said that I would also go and validate and redistribute the updated SCCM client. So to do that, go to software library, application management, packages, and that's the client. As you could see, it had failed on one distribution point, and then first I'm gonna just update the distribution point by right clicking and selecting the update and click OK. And then I would also go and check the status on the distribution point itself, like if it is running fine or not. To do that, to check the distribution point, just simply go to monitoring, distribution status, and then distribution point status group. I'm sorry, distribution point configuration status. So as you could see, SCDP01 is showing red. So I need to go and take a look at it, what is going on with this machine. Saying failed to distribute content. So it's still trying to process something. If you look at the details, will be available after the server finishes processing messages. So I'm just gonna give it just a little bit more time. Maybe it would redistribute it and that would fix it. If not, then I'm gonna start digging into the logs and try to figure out what is going on. I think those statuses are just because it's still copying the content, because now when I go to software and packages to verify if the configuration manager client package was distributed with the updated version, is showing it was successful on and it got distributed about 2 minutes ago. So it looks fine. I think it's just is copying all of the content. So this should come back successful. Yeah, it should. It's on 9 right now. So there are 4 more packages or the content that has not been copied over. So that's the package ID. I think it's still trying to copy. As you could see, it's still copying. So I'm gonna pause it and I'm gonna wait for a little bit more to make sure that everything is green. Be right back. So all I'm doing right now is just waiting for it to finish, and as you could see, more and more are starting to show successful. Just gonna refresh it, and now there are, I think, 2 more left. Yes. So it's the package ID is FW001B, and then FW404. Yeah, this is just probably waiting for it to finish too. So since these 2 packages are not cooperating, so what I'll do, I'll basically go into each package and then try to redistribute it. So one is FW00001B and then FW000004. So to do that, what I'll do is I'll just go to the content status, which is under distribution status, content status. Look for that package, each one of them. So one is 1B, which is right here. As you could see, this one has, so right click it, view status, and it's distributed to only one. And if I look at the error, this should show that the SDP is not doing it. And what I'm gonna do, just select the content, the one that is failing, right click on the wherever it's failing and to redistribute. Yes, there are different ways you could do it. This is one way that I know how to do it. There are so many different ways that you could do this, redistribute the content. So while this one is doing redistributing it, I will go back and look for the other package, the one that was having a problem, which is as you could see now, this is starting to already show in progress, from failed to in progress. So whatever that article, it started to recognize like, hey, you have a different kind of content. So whenever the checksum is running, that's what's going on in the backend. So it was just waiting. That's why it would not do it automatically. So eventually it would have fixed it, because whenever that the turn to run the checksum would come, it would have automatically looked at it, compared the content, and said, oh no, you have something new, so redistribute it to this distribution point. But since it didn't, that's why I had to go manually and try to kind of tickle it and say, hey, recheck it, and it start copying over. Here you go. As you could see that it just went all green. Now if I go back to the package content, originally where I found the problem, it was with the SCCM client. So it is in software library, packages, and each one of them, as you could see, is all green. So next I'm going to check the SCCM client version. You could just check it from the console. Just go to monitoring and then look for client status, and you could actually click on the drop down menu, or basically open up the folder and look for production client deployment. And as you could see right now, since it's not been deployed yet, that's why it's showing the version. The latest version is this one right here, 5.00.8853.1006, and you could see that none of the machines are compliant, because it's still going to take some time for those machines to check in and see that there is a new package available for them to basically download and then install it. So to get the SCCM client deployed to those machines, what you need to do is just go to admin, sites, basically it's site configuration, then sites, select the site, and then select hierarchy settings. Actually click on it, I'm sorry. And then you would see multiple tabs on this new pop-up window. Just select client upgrade, and under the client upgrade, select upgrade all clients in the hierarchy using production client. And as you saw, like I have already kind of deployed this in the production, and this also distributed too. So you want to use this option now. Click OK. And let's say that if you don't want to deploy this to this, upgrade to the servers, then you could just select do not upgrade to the servers, and automatically upgrade clients within whatever the times that you're talking about. Default is 7 days. You could set it up whichever way. I'm just going to leave it as is. And let's say that if you were trying to deploy this only to like you're doing pilot or some kind of a testing, and you wanted to deploy it to just that specific collection, then this is the way where you would do. Just go and select the collection, or even you could, and then just simply deploy to that specific collection, whichever one that you want to deploy to. I'm not going to worry about this. And the next tab, the next section is exclude specified clients from upgrade. This is just in case if you want to, if you are deploying to, let's say, all systems, but within those all systems you want specific machines that you don't want to upgrade for time being, or maybe you never want to upgrade them for any reasons. That's where the exclusion collection would be. And this the same way, you'll just go and select the collection. And if you have any kind of distribution points that are set up as the pre-stage content distribution points, and you want to deploy the SCCM client upgrade to them, this is where you would just select it, and you would not basically need to go and pre-stage the client. It would automatically distribute it. So depending on the need, you could check or uncheck this one. Simply apply. And once you apply it, now when the SCCM clients are checking, they would start getting the later upgrade. So now if I go and check the client status, I can click on monitoring and go look at the client's under client status, production client deployment, and you would see it's already it has already started on 2 of the machines. So I can just simply click on this and see what those 2s are. So one is SCDP01, and then the other one is TX Win10-1. So I'm just going to remote into TX Win10-1 and see what's happening on that machine. All right. I'm also going to launch a control panel and look at the configuration manager properties. So control panel, change the view by to small icons and look for configuration manager. And here, if you see, I think it's still in progress, because I still see the version is the old version. I'm expecting it to be version, let me see, what was that? version 5.00.8853, and this one is 5.00.8692. So it's still not there. So one way to go, and just one, I'm also gonna force update the policy, which is a SCCM client policy. I'm just gonna do it real quick on these, so that just start doing that, and then I can go to the logs and see what is happening on it. To check the logs, go to C, Windows, C, and this is going to be a setup, so it would be under C, Windows, CCM setup, and then logs. This one is one of the log, CCM setup.log. Sorry, it's not pretty yet because I don't have a CM trace on this machine. So seems like it did check in that there is a new version available for it, which is 5.8853 right here, but it is not pushed yet. So the other one that you could look at it is the client.msi. That's one of the log. This is the actual installation log. So even if you look at the date of this, the timestamp for client.msi is 9/23/2019, which is about 2 months ago. So you could tell that the installation has not started yet on this machine. It has checked in that there is a new version available, but it has not pushed it yet. So what I'll do, I mean, there are so many different ways. Either wait, obviously that is one way, or push the SCCM client through the SCCM console with force. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just go to SCCM machine, select this machine, whatever that one is, TX Win10 or Win10-1, right click it, and one way is to do, there are many different ways. Install client, next. Allow the client software to be installed, no. Just only install the client software from a specified site, next. That's the selection. Summary, next. Now, and also what it'll do is just I'll try to force the policy on this machine too. Where is it? So to do that, just go to one of the collection, which is just went to all systems, look for that machine name. In my case, it's TX Win10-1. Right click it, client notifications, and this is where you could select download computer policy. Okay, now I'm gonna move back to TX Win10. Still hasn't came through. I'm just gonna give it a few minutes. It kind of closed. I think it's coming through. That's the new log right there, CCM 2:23 p.m. Yeah, so I think the installation is gonna start in any minute. Yep, you could see the client.msi kind of the timestamp changed on it, this one too. So it is starting. All right, so look at it. Unload it, WMI. Yeah, it's always a good idea to have CM trace kind of handy on all of the machines. This way these logs are kind of, now the way I have to go and close it and reopen it. When you have the log file open in the CM trace, usually is kind of a live data from the log is being pushed into it, so you could just see it. You don't have to close for a refresh. So as you could see, the log file is getting bigger. Yep. still installing. Just give it just a few more moments and hopefully we'll come back with a successful install. Still there, still copying. Just gonna keep refreshing it here. This is a verbose log for SCCM client, and setup.exe is gonna have some entries too. Yeah, just doing that too. So that's the client.msi. I think it has completed. Yep. As you could see, product installation completed. And that's the version right here. Let's go verify it real quick. Go back to the control panel. Configuration manager. Yep, right there. So this one was successfully installed. All right, so now I'm going to go back to SCCM console again and look at the client status there. Should have at least one successful or compliant production client. That's one compliant. If you click on it, that should be that machine. Right there, yep, this is good. So next thing I said, the last thing that I'm going to do is I will create a quick collection, and that collection is going to be a query based collection that would basically put this new client into that collection. So I'll just name it, create a new folder. I will call it SCCM client version of 5.00.8853. This is just to show you guys real quick. Click OK. That's a new folder right here. And then I'm going to create a collection in it. Just go to that folder, right click, create device collection. I can just say machines with name, machines with client version 5.00.8853.1006. This is just to, I mean, you could name anything that you want, but for this demo purpose, I'm just going to use this. So I'm going to target, for limiting collection, I'm going to target all systems so that it can go and grab everything that has this version installed on them. Next, and here just go click on add a rule, and then it's going to be query. So just select query, call it client version 5.00.8853.1006. Added query statement. And this is where you would paste the query. So for this one, I have already written a query. Show query language. And I'm going to right click and paste it. This is the query for it. I would leave this one in the description of the video so that if you just want to use it for yourself. And even in the future, if you want to use it, all you would need to do is just change the version, and then that query would be ready for whichever client version that you are trying to put in that collection. Click OK. OK. Next. Next. So if this is working fine, I should have one machine real quick showed up here once it's done. Excuse me. Okay, something is not right. Something is not right with my query, because it is going and grabbing more versions. So I need to fix that query. I should be back in a second. All right, so I looked at the query. The issue was that I had in the query not equal to, which is right here. So if you remove that one, now it means that if the client version is equal to, okay, apply. Now when I run it, it shows 1. Update. And that's that machine that you could see. So with this, hopefully this tutorial was helpful to you. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Thank you so much. Wherever you are, have a wonderful evening or day. Peace.